awesome to find out. Even though I'm Korean, I found more things about how to dress Korean clothing, traditional clothing, hanbok, and meanings behind them, and I really appreciate people explaining about them, and I really want to also share that with other people so that they too can understand the significance of our hanbok.
Oh, I thought it was a really great lecture. The lecture itself was very entertaining, and it gave a lot of both contemporary as well as historical context around hanbok, not just from a fashion sense, but also just with as it pertains to Korean culture as well. So I really liked it.
Oh, it was very, very informative. Dr. Lee is extremely knowledgeable, and to put clothing in the context of its development historically was very informative, educational.
So, I didn't really know what to expect when I heard this lecture was going to take place, but I find that the hanbok, part of my identity, and also just aesthetically something that's very pleasing to the eye. There's a lot of history that I didn't know, and so I found the lecture, both very informative, but also really engaging, because it was a topic that not just interesting to me, but it kind of helped maybe plug in some gaps, fill in some gaps. So yeah, I think I feel like a more informed Korean now.
우리의 그 동양화를 스스로 드러난 also teach them how to make it. And I became so anxious. You can see that they flinch when they move.
Oh, I'm so enriched by the different styles of presentation. I found the dancing to be very beautiful and evocative and graceful and emotional. And then the presentations, the lectures were very informative, and I feel like I learned a lot. I was somewhat familiar with hanbok because of our students here at MICA, but I was not familiar at all with the history of the various kinds of traditions that contributed to what we now recognize as hanbok. And so it makes me want to learn more about Korean history and all of the different time periods that were discussed this evening, and the workmanship of the garments that are on display are incredible, and I have a lot of respect for that kind of artistry, so I'm very inspired.
It's just such a great learning experience. Right. I didn't know that much about Korean dress. I've done some kimonos and Japanese clothing, but I've never worked with Korean clothing. And this idea of this particular style is very interesting.
Well, it was really exciting to have a chance to see hanbok and to learn about the history, and even see some demonstrations of hanbok painting decoration on hanbok, which is something I'd never seen before. And then we also got to see dancing, which you got to see hanbok in motion. So that was a real great opportunity for us.
Oh, for me, definitely painting on the dresses. Watching somebody actually make a piece of art is so memorable, but that was really impressive. I think also watching the dancers, specifically the first dancer in the elaborate costume, and how you would think that that amount of fabric would be bulky, but it really allowed for movement, and it moved beautifully with the dance. It became kind of a dancer itself. So I think off the top of my head, those were my favorites. Also, I loved Annette's presentation at the end of going there as as a Dutch American and finding her own identity in hanbok.
제가 어릴 때는 그냥 명절이나 특별한 행사 때만 입는 옷이라 항상 이제 좀 불편하고 아름답긴 하지만 조금 이제 특별한 의미가 있었던 것 같고 이제 꼭 특별한 날 입는 그런 옷. 근데 이제 자라면서 특별하게 제가 그 옷을 입어야 되겠다는 어떤 그런 생각을 못 했었어요. 근데 이제 저도 나이가 좀 가고 좀 더 그 한국의 미가 옷이라는 데서 많이 나타나는 것 같아서 저도 좀 응용을 해서 입어보면 좋지 않을까 그런 생각이 들어요.